So down here you have a hose. It comes from crankcase ventilation, which is up here, this silver plate here. So this is one we're going to take off, but to get it out you need to remove the carburetor and the intake manifold. Start with these two bolts. I'm doing this as simple as possible. I don't want to take off the fuel hose and throttle linkage and stuff. So I'm going to try to do this an easy way. These gaskets up here are glued, so see if we can knock it loose. There you come. And let's get this there's for the governor. Got the fuel hose on the other side that's holding it. But see, there, the gasket come off. Now we can access crankcase ventilation. 2 Phillips screws. So it looks, that's the first plate. We have a second one in here. And it's all glued, so I gotta get a small screwdriver. Try to pry this loose. Now you can use a hammer, but this is more gently than a hammer. There you go. Crankcase ventilation, look like this. So I'm going to go to the bench and I'm going to show you something, what happens with this. Okay, first clean this off. There's a small filter in here, take out. Clean this one off too. I really use the rags maximum. See how dirty this is? But it's still good for cleaning oil. I don't use this rag for any fine cleaning. So this is like a membrane. Hang on, I'm going to get a tool. So this side is in against the engine block, and this is a membrane that opens and closes. This breather, crankcase breather, is brand new, because the old one, it was spewing out too much oil, so I thought the old one was bad, so I bought a new one and put it in there. And but it was still doing the same thing. So I started looking at YouTube, and I found a tip to another person that did this. They showed me. So there's a link to the other YouTube in the description. But here's what the problem is. The crankcase ventilation is always going to bring oil with them up. And it's going to go out through this membrane, out in this area. And then it's a small hole. It's supposed to be a hole in this one. So the oil that comes out here can drain back into the crankcase. But I don't see any hole in this one. So all the oil that collects in here is going to raise the level, and then it's going to come out through this hose. When the oil level gets high enough, it's going to come out this hose, and then you have excessive oil drainage. So the oil that collects in here is supposed to go back down into the crankcase from a drain hole in this area. But there is no drain hole. So what we do is we make one. So I'm going to drill a hole in this one to drain the oil that collects in this one down back in the crankcase. So we got a drill and a drill bit. High speed. I got a 2.5 millimeter drill bit. It doesn't have to be any bigger than that, because when the oil gets warm, it runs really easy. So I'm going to drill a hole in this corner here, because the drain back into the crankcase at this engine is in the back here, this area on the inside here. So if I drill in this corner, the oil that runs down out of this one is going to go almost straight down the hole back to the crankcase. There. Get some compressed air, clean it up. Then you get kind of sharp metal things here. So what I used to do, I take a little bigger drill bit and I just by hand remove the sharp edges. Same on the inside, if there are any. And you're done. You just need to put this back together and hope it fixes the problem. But I think it will. So, just put it back together then. Because I just replaced this recently, the gaskets are pretty good. So I don't need to put new gaskets. But if you have bad gaskets, I suggest you replace them with new ones. Clean the area from any oil. I'm also cleaning this one. From any oil. It's a little bit broken here, but I'm going to fix that. Get some Permatex, form a gasket. It's basically a gasket glue. So this is, you use this with gaskets. This doesn't work without a gasket. But this is the best stuff. If I can open it, oh there you go. It's really messy. This one is brand new, this can, so you always get a lot of glue up on the above the brush. Try to get it off as much as possible so it doesn't drip everywhere. Okay. Put it on there. We put some under here. And also on top of the gasket. Make sure you don't put too much to cover the hole you just drilled. Tips, don't drop it down in there. You have to clean it again. And then we put this one in here. Then we do the same thing with this one, because the outside gaskets is new and have no tear in it. So we do some here too. Get the hose down. And screw with my wrong hand, but I think I can fix it anyway. The other one, we get help from the screwdriver, Phillips. There you go. The intake gasket, it torn when I took it off, so we replaced that. Oops, I didn't have one. So, can make a new one. So, let's make a new gasket. This is gasket material. This one is 0.25 millimeters thick. This one is 0.5, so half a millimeter thick. And I'm going to use this one. The 0.25 is too thin. So, we got the old gasket here. And it's like 90-degree angle here. So, we use that to save gasket material. Pan. It's working. Nope. Why did I put it back if it's not working? Dumbass. This one then? This one's working. Make it a little bit bigger than the factory one, the stock one. just trace it. Make sure you don't move it while you're tracing it. There you have it. Miss. This is why I like wooden benches instead of metal. So you can use a knife to cut it. And you don't damage the edge of the knife. So, this back where it belongs. Trim this one. I always save the holes for the bolt or pin bolt or regular bolt. Save those for last. There. This is not a high horsepower machine, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Hammer and hole punch. And we got a new gasket. Okay, let's put this together then. Start with the try fit it. Yeah, it works. This gasket, I'm gonna glue this gasket too. Just to be on the safe side. Start on the intake manifold, and in a minute I'm going to show you why. made the holes in the gasket put it the right way, like that. And then you put the bolts in. And the holes in the gasket are a little bit tight. So when you screw in the bolts, the gasket stays in place and the bolt can't fall out. You may notice that I have anti-seize on the bolts so they don't get stuck in the engine. So you see here now, gasket in place and the bolts won't fall out. So now we can glue the other side of the gasket before we attach it to the engine. At the same time, if you get some glue on the bolts, it doesn't matter. It's just going to be a safety, so it's harder for them to come loose by the vibrations of the engine. So, done with this one, so we can close it. Got the screwdriver and just line this up. This one goes behind the muffler. Make sure you don't thread them, don't cross thread it. You should go easy to all the way in, you should go easy.